And the topic is actually very intriguing and relevant, I guess, for all of us. And I was thinking, what's the biggest enemy of fear? Just a thought. What's the biggest enemy of fear for you? And while thinking of that, I thought fate. Fate is a great antidote to fear. And I can share an experience of mine many, many years ago. I was a few months in Gyan in this knowledge. And I was asked to give a commentary, meditation, a guided meditation in public. And I was extremely young in the knowledge, of course, and never done it before. So it was a real panic, more than fear. It was really panic. And they told me in the morning, and that was happening in the evening. So I had the entire day. In one side, I was preparing myself just in case, repeating thoughts that could help. But on the other side, I was trying to find excuses. Like, what am I going to invent not to do it? Which is something that fear does, create a lot of thoughts in terms of creating excuses to escape it, to run away. And I did my best not to do it, like, oh, I've got such an headache, my head is exploding, but they didn't work. So eventually I had to go on the stage, with everything shaking. And I was extremely young. So really, the first time facing public, first time giving a commentary, first time everything. And but then what made me accept eventually, because eventually I had to surrender and say yes and go. Maybe before Gyan, I would have said no and just leave and be firm of my no. But in that case, what made me accept and surrender my fear was fate. It's like it was definitely beyond my capacity. Something that you never done is not in my experience. So that was not my capacity, my ability, my experience, nothing. But I relied on God. And the thought was, if you ask me that, if drama is pushing me to go beyond fear of public, fear of exposing myself, fear of doing something that I didn't know I could do it, if in the drama this is happening, why should I doubt it? And that was the only way I could go on the stage and do it. And I just felt being Baba's instrument in that moment. And it was a relief, like feeling God behind you, moving you to do what will make you grow. And unless we surrender to what will melt our fears, we will not grow beyond our old sanskaras. And fear is a huge block. That block not just the self, but an opportunity of doing something new, something more, and something better. And I think the attitude of letting go of our fears and just surrender to drama, to Baba, to whatever is coming to you is what makes the soul stable and powerful. And beside that, the realization at the time was that if we do something out of faith, that Baba is going to guide me, Baba is going to do it. Then if I do surrender to drama and bypass my fear, then it's like that moment is a blessing. It's really a blessing, because whatever you think you can't do it, but if you do it, then becomes part of you as a blessing, in the form of an instrument of God. And of course, after the test, in a way, there is a deep sense of victory, like I made it, it's done. And I didn't run away, but I faced my fear. And I think that feeling is worth trying it. So instead of being fearful, it's definitely better to be faithful. And I do remember this kind of a mantra, rather than being fearful, because I used to have a lot of fears personally. So that was my mantra. Instead of being fearful, just be faithful. And it will go at the best. It will happen. In fact, faith helped to accept the challenge and to do it. Actually, do it is the only way forward. Because if I don't try, if I don't do it, I will remain in the loop of my fears. And I will actually perish within that. So faith is actually a journey in our own transformation. And is the main energy that can melt fears away. At least this is my experience. And fears is not a little thing. I remember in Avyak Murli, 69 Avyak Murlis, something like that, in which Baba said, the sixth vice is laziness, but the seventh vice is fear. So it's something really measure. And I guess the biggest fear is the fear of death. For the world, very much, but maybe even for us. But Baba said, all of you have already died, don't we? So we are already dead. So how could be afraid of death? And again, that's something that I keep remembering, because lately we had quite a few people around leaving the body. But so the main enemy, biggest enemy of fear is faith. Another enemy of fear is love, of course. And where there is love, risks seem small. Big risks can be perceived as small. Yesterday was Mama's Day. A mother is very fearless. And definitely Mama was very fearless. Out of love for truth, for Baba, for this Yagya. And Baba is making us, all of us, whole mother. And he taught us that there is a space of love that is eternally within us for us to be love. And where there is love, fear itself is reduces. At present, there are so many worries and fear in people. And so out of awareness and love, we do practice pure and positive thoughts, good wishes, pure feelings is one of the points that comes so often within the Murlis. Have good wishes and pure feeling for all. All means everyone, good or bad, nasty, anybody, which is not easy, of course, with the feeling of uplifting them, whatever they are doing, or maybe whatever they are not doing, and that's love. And then I don't fear whatever comes from them if love is bigger than the energy. And of course, the understanding that everybody has a life script, a very precise life script that we don't know. We don't know people's story. We don't know what they've been going through. We don't know, but we don't need to know. We just need to know that the only way forward in a world like this, preparing the new world, is to experience understanding, compassion, acceptance, tolerance. And we know that tolerance is the power or the virtue that allows all the other virtues to emerge. And every virtue is a mirror of the authentic self. And if I remember that every virtue is a mirror of the authentic self, then those virtues will scare fear. And love for Baba means love for knowledge, love for service, love for humanity. And this love shapes the angel's form. And what's an angel not capable of? Definitely is beyond the feeling of being blocked by fears. Can you imagine an angel fearful or, in such a state? It's like an angel is above everything that could create fears. Or at least that's the image of an angel I like to keep. And an angel is also aware that being protected is our birthright. It's like when we feel that we are protected, what do we fear? And so an angel won't stop feeling so protected by God, by his own karma. And if an angel stops, it's not because of fear, but because of wisdom. And do you know what rules the heart of an angel? Giving. And actually the third enemy of fear is generosity. I was having this image that if I create an energy of giving, which is the energy of love anyway, And the energy goes from me, from inside outwards. So it's the energy that I express, I share towards the external world. Then it's like a wave. And if I produce such an energy of giving, sharing, cooperating, loving, then nothing will come inside. It's like a shield, and it will not allow anything from outside to come in. And because we live in a world that is full of fear, so much that people can do funny or terrible things out of fear. So it's good to protect the self. And generosity, giving, sharing is like the energy that goes outwards and become a shield of protection. So giving will make me protected from energy that are negative or fearful. And giving will also make me unaffected. I remember the daddies. I guess many of you met them. All of them, all the daddies, they seemed to be completely unaffected by things, by whatever was happening around them. It's like in such a stable state, so centered, so in their power, so much in their own power. And I believe that state was due to being such a giver. They were givers from morning till night. And the more the sanskara of giving is nourished, less we become takers. And fear works within the dimension of taking. I fear not to have enough, for example, so I need to take. And also giving creates, of course, good karma. And I think that's the biggest guarantee that nothing will be lacking in my future, in my destiny. Because when I create some bad karma, debts, then the consciousness bites, and it's like the soul knows in a conscious or unconscious way that sooner or later I will have to pay it back. And that creates a lot of fear. It's like the soul knows there is something to be settled, and that issue will come back to be settled. And therefore, I fear that will happen, how will happen, when will happen. That's why generosity is an incredible virtue, and giving is an incredible sanskara, because it prevents bad karma to be created. And I think in every Murli, Baba is emphasizing the importance of serving, giving, sharing. They say that a ship in an harbor is safe, but that is not what ships are built for. So we can feel safe, keeping, taking, accumulating in a limited way. But our life, energy, resources are not made to be stagnant. Actually, we are especially trained by God Himself to give. And I deeply believe that that's one of the main way of melting fears away and being the conqueror of fear. Such a beautiful title, being a conqueror of fear. And engaging in service, giving, helping others, is like I shift my attention from my own problems and fears to something that is actually healing myself. Because we have a lot to heal inside, all of us. And I do think that service is made also for that reason. Baba could do everything by himself. He doesn't really need us in a way, but we need to share. And also an act of kindness, act of giving, it's boosting our self-esteem, our self-worth, knowing that we made a good impact in people's life. And that brings joy, contentment. And of course, blessings come back, which are also a shield of protection. And I think that those with a small heart, they don't breathe freedom. But those who live with a big heart experience the magic of life. Life can be really magical. And giving contributes to that magic. And the fourth enemy of fear, so the first enemy was faith, then love, then giving, generosity, and the fourth enemy of fear is truth. Actually, all the virtues are useful. And I was reading a piece of Murli about this, and I would like to read it to you. It's a very short one, but very meaningful. Let's see if I can see it. The easy way to become fearless is to have a clean and honest heart. Then there will never be any fear. So in one line, Papa said so much. The easy way to become fearless is to have a clean and honest heart. Then there will never be any fear. The revelation of God is based on truth, and truth is based on cleanliness and fearlessness. In order to become victorious over your old sanskaras, there has to be fearlessness. To say, what can I do? I'm not able to do that. Will I be able to fulfill my responsibilities? Or my old sanskara are very powerful? That is not being fearless. In other words, to find excuses means to lack fearlessness. So a true spiritual warrior that we would like to be grows through problems, issues, obstacles, with patience, courage, determination, farsightedness. And of course, we need a lot of courage. I think this life, Brahmin life, is a life of courage. because not everybody are willing to look through the self, in the self, and work on that. But if we do it, definitely we are very courageous. And one of the titles that Baba gives us is Shakti. So the power to face is what makes us Shaktis. And the image of a Shakti is really a conquer fear. And there was another point actually that I wanted to share from this the same Murli. That was, those who are not afraid of Maya are called Shaktis. Those who have fear are defeated, whereas those who are fearless are able to make Maya afraid of them. Can you imagine Maya just running away? Why should I run away? Let Maya run away. Why not? Because of fear, you lose power and understanding. And reading this phrase, I got really thoughtful because we need to understand deeply. We need to understand clearly in order to change. And it seems that fear will prevent that. In fact, when somebody is under the effect of fears, they are confused. And so because of fear, you lose power and understanding. In order for you to judge yourself, these papers will come to you. So test papers, they come to us because so we know where we are at. Otherwise, I wouldn't know. So they're extremely useful. How else would you know your stage? Baba said, do not become afraid. Because sometimes test comes we think at the wrong time or altogether, or they are too big, but they're not. Because of not going into the depths, you become afraid. And because of not going into the depths, we become afraid. That means, it seems, that the practice of churning is also very useful. Because while churning, I dive into the depths of understanding and knowledge. And therefore, if I'm in that kind of energy, I'm busy in a very good way. And I entertain my intellect in a very powerful way. And I think that even before churning, I need the power to withdraw. That means I just retire myself. And withdrawing means to come back to the sense of who I am, to perceive my value, worthiness, and reinforce it. And for me, withdrawing means the practice of 1 second, which is something I really love to do it. In 1 second, I become silent. In 1 second, I become bodiless. So in 1 second, I go beyond. In 1 second, I become still. It's such an easy, simple phrase or thought, but for me, it has a big effect to bring me inside. And I think to withdraw and practice the 1 second thought is actually a preparation to go into the depths of Gyan. That's when yoga and knowledge, they cross each other and they walk together. And the fifth enemy of fear is happiness. We are meant to reawaken the sanskara of happiness. Again, somebody happy, it doesn't match with being fearful. And a pure state of mind, pure drishti, pure feelings, and we know that purity is the mother of happiness. The pure self is happy, and the purest sanskaras of happiness don't know any fear. An exercise that we practice lately, and I do with the students at the center from time to time, is to practice a kind of a dialogue with my complete form. It's like ask to that complete form, the deity form, how did I make it? How did I do it? How that happen? So I allow the best self, my best self, to talk to me, like consulting an advisor, but I'm actually consulting myself. I'm consulting the best part of me. And it works because the memory of the beginning of the cycle is there, is within me, is within the soul. So it's just provoking those memories to emerge, and maybe not in the form of an image, but in the form of a feeling. And like get in tune with that kind of experience. And when I get busy at that level, and I'm provoking the best sanskaras to emerge. And we know that in the golden age, the sanskara of happiness are measured. And I also was thinking that we do have 3 levels of consciousness. The gross, very gross consciousness, that of course when we don't have gyan, that's the only consciousness we hold. But from time to time we might, get back into a gross consciousness. The path of ascending is not straight. It goes, like the roller coaster. So sometimes we are very divine, and sometimes we can be really gross. That's not a problem. So a gross consciousness means that I focus on the storm and I fear them. And that fear takes over. And then I need a lot of time and thought and maybe sustenance to recover. But it's part of the game, it's part of the path. And the idea is to shift to another level of consciousness, which is the subtle consciousness, where the focus is on the energy that I can build inside. Of course, the storm might not change. I cannot change the intensity of the storm, but I can increase my inner strength. And therefore become able to overcome it. So the focus is not the storm, but the focus is gathering my inner energy and strength and power to move forward and to step over, to fly over the storm. And that's when we practice powers and practice whatever Baba teaches us. Life is a laboratory, really, is a workshop. And then there is a higher consciousness where God is in charge, so I can be carefree, aware that to conquer Maya, to conquer fear, is already done. How many times we've been ending the cycle and started again? How many times we've been here talking and it will happen again? So we are still here. Nothing really happened to us. And so realizing that whatever fear I have is really a paper tiger, that I can blow it away, just realizing that I have the power to do it. I can do it. And thinking I'm a conqueror of fear means I'm a conqueror of Maya. I'm a conqueror of devices that I acquired, but they are not me. I'm not those vices. And allow the innate quality of the soul to define my response to life. Can I allow my innate quality to choose and define my response to life? That means I can choose peace rather than anger, love rather than hatred. And the power to choose my response is within our capacity. So, and if I think that God is in charge of my life, I really become carefree. Even though there is so much to do inside, so many sanskara to get rid of, and yet we have the highest energy with us. And again, this comes back to faith. I will stop here if you have any questions.
Wow, it was so systematic and beautiful at the same time. I really enjoyed, and I'm sure everyone in the group really enjoyed to hear all those things from you. It's lovely. Thank you so much, dear Antonella. And let me see what we have in our chat box. That was one question come. In Brahmin life, we are dealing with our own Ravan, fear, and the fear of others. Sometimes, for whatever reason, a BK's drishti towards us can be one of fear. It can become challenging to not to be influenced by it, especially when we live with them or serve with them. Have you ever been in such a situation? If so, how did you deal with it? It's a long one. Is that clear enough?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
First of all, it will be nice to think what are the type of personality that I fear. Because for each one is different. And maybe it could be a good journey. What type of personality maybe I've got them around, I fear, according to our own sanskara, just a reflection. But somebody with the nasty drishti, that seems to be sending a curse rather than love, is what the question was about. Something pretty negative. It did happen, yes, of course, because we are at the end of the cycle with a lot of, stuff to be cleaned. But again, it is a choice. That means if I allow the drishti to come inside me, then I'm under the influence, and therefore I will be having fear that will happen again, or maybe fear what they will say about me, to be judged, to be defamed, because the drishti is something, personal, one-to-one. You encounter somebody, looks at you with hatred, maybe, or something negative, but then that person will also maybe spread around bad news, bad comment, criticism. So fear will become a big container of many, many things. And then that will deplete my power and will provoke a lot of waste thoughts within me. That's why it's a choice. In my experience, I had the experience, of course, I think more or less we have to go through different tests. And then after having quite a good amount of thoughts, I said, hold on, why am I giving the power to somebody else to impact me at that level? And if that happen, I will not be useful to me nor to the other person. And I'm here to grow, to serve, to rise above to another level of consciousness. So I want to make that happen. And for days and days, every morning, I would send good wishes. I would make that soul emerge, invoke Baba, and share the best wishes I could, thinking of their quality. At least one quality is always there. And as Baba says often, at least they recognize Baba. That's enough. And I felt that the practice of good wishes was cleaning my heart and creating a bridge between me and people or that person. And I felt I was doing my job, because karmic comes in many ways from the past. And if I do understand karma, I will accept it and say, okay. And the main learning through that, which I value very, very much, is mercy. We have to become merciful. We have to reach the end with an incredible amount of mercy. And so whatever teach me mercy, I appreciate it. And the other person choice is their choice. So shifting my response to the provocation is definitely a choice. They choose to provoke, I choose to be merciful. And that's it. It's a choice. But that choice will make you powerful. Victory, Baba says, is in the one that makes the first step. And it means this. You choose to be merciful, benevolent, have good wishes. That's the first step. And so you are victorious.
I think that's perfect. Perfect. But what I thought, to be able to do that, I think we need to have a lot of self-respect and we have to value ourselves a lot, so that not to focus what she has done, but to focus what I can do, I can give to her. So it's really changing my consciousness in a positive way, a big shift. Is that right? Are you
Yeah,
agree?
And I think all souls, like all of us, they arrive at the end of the cycle with very little self-respect.
Yeah.
So it's something that is very common to all of us. But again, talking about fate, why Baba has chosen us, we have a very big task. There is a destination that has been prepared for us. So it's like bringing our vision far ahead. And that built up. Maybe self-esteem takes some time, but at least through faith, it builds us the feeling that Baba is making happen through me. And Baba is taking care of me. Baba is sustaining me. And I remember the first time I met Gentiban, I never saw anybody going into trance. She used to go into trance many, many years ago. Then she stopped. And so she sat on the gadi and went into trance, of course, with closed eyes. And I was absolutely young, so I was looking, thinking to get the drishti, but she had the eyes closed. So I thought, oh, well, I thought we were supposed to meditate with the eyes open. I didn't know she went into trance. Then I was told this later, of course. But when she opened the eyes and come back from the trance, she shared the message. And I was not really certain yet that I was going to become a Brahmin. It was really at the very, very beginning. But I was at the center, and then she shared the message. And the message was, if you think the victory, I still remember, if you think the victory is far off, then between now and then, so many things can happen. No, victory is here today. And I think that's the way to believe that whatever happened is perfect for me right now, today. And I can face it. I've got Baba, and I can make it through. And I think this is even more the self-respect, is understanding the incredible story that we are living at this confluence age.
Yeah, that's very true. And so we have to say, I am victorious right now. Not
Yes,
I am going to be victorious. No, but I am victorious right now. That's
that's the
beautiful.
phrase that made me surrender.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. Let me see another one, I think. Uh, okay, that was a question, but if you know the date, what
Yes,
is
I
the
do.
date?
I
Yeah.
looked in the telephone.
Oh, you did?
The
Okay.
date of the 69 Murli is the 20. Ah, gosh, I let me see again. Is the 20 March 69.
20th of March, 69. Yeah. So yeah, I'm sure everyone get it. And
Mhm.
there is another question. My concern has been maintaining my dignity during crisis and chaos. The answer is faith. Thank you, Baba, and you, of course, for supplying the antidote for fear. Om Shanti. She's just sharing her feelings, and this is really not only faith, but the five things that you have mentioned one by one. It's just beautiful. And if we work on them, not to focus our fears, which you say, easily everyone has the fear, and we easily just turn ourselves into that energy. Rather than doing this, just shift my energy to giving and sharing whatever Baba give to me. I think to it means that serve Baba is the best thing to do it. I understand.
Mm.
Okay, so let me ask, do you have any more questions? I think we still have some time. I'm just looking. Yeah, we still have some few minutes. You have any questions or on any comments? Okay, so let me just ask one thing, because you said the first and foremost thing is to faith in God for the antidote. And how can we develop our faith and make it very strong? And, can you share any tips for that?
Yeah. Fate is made of experience. I didn't do any bhakti in this life. I guess I did it before. In this life, I didn't do anything. But when I arrived in a BK center, when we were meditating at the end of the course, the experience of being a soul was extremely powerful. And I believe that without experience, everything remains like a concept. And a concept will not nourish a proper faith. Blind faith, we know it well, as a cycle of bhakti. But real faith is only built, in my experience, through experience. So if I experience to be a soul and I get enchanted and awakened by that, then nobody can convince me otherwise. I remember I was in Japan when I took Gyan, and I was so touched by the idea that I'm a soul, and believing in the self, faith in the self is the beginning of the journey. That I was working and I was, with people. Then I stopped every now and then. I would stop and look at them and say, "Do you know you are a soul?" I thought it was so important that they should know. And of course, they were interested in nothing. I mean, no interest whatsoever. So I had to recompose myself like, okay. And then after some time, but do you know you are a soul? So I was pretty insisting, but I thought it was vital to know that. And the lesson on God, I experienced these waves of love that were really pulling me beyond the body. And that's when I thought, gosh, this is really God. Eh? I was atheist. The word God would make me sick. So you can imagine the rejection of religion. I had nothing to do with religion here. And I wouldn't really accept anything. So I was not interested in anything religious, and I wasn't looking for God at all. But then he found me and giving me this experience, I got lost in love in a way. So the adventure or the love story began. But I think if I didn't have the experience yet, I would go for it, because that's the way to make the needle pulled by the magnet. And sometimes the needle is too rusty, and therefore the magnet cannot pull the needle into an experience that will change our life. So I just need to create good karma, service. That's why sometimes Baba says, become Sayog and then Yog. So become cooperative in serving, and then you will become yogi. Because the rust on the needle has to be taken away and cleansed. So for some people it's immediate, for some people it takes some time. Just a matter of being patient and ask God, I want to experience you, I want to know you, I want to be with you. Just talk to God. And some people, while talking, they get pulled into their experience. And when the experience happens, how can you not believe or have faith in that? Surrender, in a way. True faith is surrender.
Beautiful. No words to say about it. It's really wonderful. Wonderful. And I really wish every one of us have this experience of God and the best companion we have, the best friend we have. True, true. Anything else you would like to add or say something? Maybe you can just say a few words about the service in Italy. The family
Sure.
would like to hear about it.
Yeah. Many things are happening, and this seems the time that many people come in contact. Of course, we have somebody taking care daily of publicity. And so we have, and I think that's the best tool, a YouTube channel that has 100,000 followers. And that has been built in few years, shortly after the COVID. So 100,000 followers, it's a lot for us, and Italy is a small country. What that channel is promoting, it's only meditation commentary. And the Raja Yoga course, in a very short version, 20 minutes. And the first lesson is we shared yesterday the datas. The first lesson is got 400,000 clicks. So that's indicate that people, they don't want too many words. They want an experience. And even the course is made to give an experience. That's why it's only 20 minutes, pretty short, essential, and with that kind of vibration. But mainly it's just a commentary on every topic, every virtue, topic, idea. There is a commentary. The latest one was about gratitude. And then every morning I send out 1 minute audio on the powers of the soul. And it goes to thousands and thousands of people. We cannot keep track because it goes through WhatsApp from me to 1,000 people. But I know they spread it forward. So we don't know where it ends up, even in Turkey, actually. And Couple of months ago, we had an event organized by the Sikh community, and they invited 14 speakers of different religions and paths, and they invited also us. And there were 3,500 people in the audience, mainly Sikh, and it was amazing experience. I never was so interested in interfaith, and there was a kind of interfaith, but I found it so inspiring how people are really willing to come together. The topic was kindness and love. And there were, speakers from many different religions and different countries. And we stayed on the stage for 7 hours by everyone talking and then sharing. And 7 hours on the stage, I thought, gosh, how can I survive? In fact, it was fantastic. It's like giving drishti to those thousands of people non-stop. So it was really special.